Welcome to Real Talk Fantasy Baseball. I am Will Power. Joining me soon will be Javi the Commish. Today we're talking the Max Scherzer ejection, some news and notes, two-star pitchers, weekend streamers, and going to go over the most added list for Fantasy Week 3. What's up, man? Is your technical difficulties figured out yet?
Yeah.
Apparently not. You're frozen on my screen
Can you hear
with
me?
the sick ass Atlanta Braves hat. You there, bro?
I guess.
All right, let's see.
Let me
Oh,
do it.
Tony. What's up, Tony? Oh, you like that intro? Thanks, Doug. I appreciate that. Oh, Javi is in the stream
Can
with
you hear me?
audio only. Oh, yeah, there you are. I hear you. Great. Now the audience is only going to be able to see my ugly mug. And I lost you.
Go here.
Javi, you there? There you are. Yeah, I see that you're in the stream, but
Yeah.
since there's no picture, like I wish I could have at least like a picture like on the side of your face or something. We should do that for each of us.
Just me in your mind.
What was that? Oh, all right.
Just picture me in your mind.
Oh, I do that all the time anyway. All right, so let's go right into it. We are going to talk about the Max Scherzer ejection. Javi, I hope you can chime in on this one because this one was this. I think this is the most notable ejection that we've had so far on because of a sticky substance. So I actually do have the video here. So let's go ahead and start the video, and we'll talk about it right after.
Well, Max Scherzer just popped out with a new glove because Phil Cuzzi told him that he had to take the glove he was using out of play.
Well, he checked his right hand, he checked his left hand, and then he went inside the glove, Cuzzi, which is very strange for an umpire to put his hand inside your glove. I would not like that.
So he had his glove switched earlier, and they're looking at the second glove, and they were looking at his pitching hand as well.
Well, what Cuzzi was telling, and Bellino got involved, is that even though it's a new glove, it feels like the old glove. Or did Max go back to the old glove and try to take whatever substance was on it or on his hand off the glove?
All right, so that was the video, the infamous video. Javi, are you there?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, so let's get your thoughts on that Max Scherzer ejection. Did you watch the video?
I did.
All right, what do you think?
That was crazy. That was crazy, man. It's a little iffy. I don't know. How do you define too sticky? I've never. There's no measurement to tell you what's sticky or what isn't too sticky. From what I saw or from what I heard from Scherzer, he said that he grabbed sweat right from his hair, and he rubbed his hands with the rosin or whatever. And for the third inning, this is where it kind of gets weird for me. The third inning, the umpire said it was cool, and then in the fourth inning, he said it wasn't cool. So how do you know what I mean? Like, how do you go from kind of sticky to too sticky? I don't know. It was kind of weird
From
for
what
me.
I understand is that after the third inning was over, when they checked Max Scherzer, checked his hand, checked his glove, they told him, all right, we can kind of tell that this is rosin, but it's a little bit too much. So we want you to go into the locker room or wherever it is that you can and wash your hands really good.
Right.
Wash them with alcohol to try to get all of it off, and then reapply the rosin so that way it'll be like a fresh start. And apparently he did that and came out with a brand new glove, so that way the rosin wasn't on the inside of the glove, because the umpires were checking the inside of the glove for some reason at the end of the third inning. So Scherzer comes out with a new glove, and apparently that still wasn't good enough. So with the rosin, from what I understand, because I've never used it before, but just kind of what I've been researching lately, is that the rosin creates like a kind of like a non-drying glue effect, but to a very small portion, right?
It's like a dry, sticky.
Exactly.
Feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you peel off a sticker and it leaves behind like a little bit of sticky stuff.
Right.
So the way that you get it even tackier is by mixing the rosin with sweat or mixing the rosin with sunscreen.
Right.
So Max Scherzer is the type of guy. What's up, Jasper? Thanks for joining in.
What up, Jay?
Max Scherzer is the type of guy that he just drips. He sweats bullets the entire game. For the game, you can see it even in like cold weather. It doesn't matter because he puts so much.
You can see it on his uniform, bro.
Oh yeah, he like bleeds through it. He pitches with so much force and so much energy that's just the way that his body reacts to what's going on around him. And Jasper says, out in the backyard playing ball with the boys. Nice, dude. Nice. Let's see. Meet the Mets said Max got screwed. Honestly, man, even though he's a former Dodger that I wish could have re-signed and he went to the Mets, and I'm a little salty about that. I completely agree that Max Scherzer was screwed.
I agree.
I was watching John Boy break down the video, and what John Boy likes to do is when you can't really tell what the players are saying or what the umpires are saying, he will do his best to lip read.
Nice.
And Max Scherzer actually said, I swear on my kids that I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not doing anything out of the realm of what you guys allow me to do. And they still ejected him in the fourth inning. So I'm going to take Scherzer's word for it and give him the benefit of the doubt and say that I agree. I saw his reaction. It just seemed very genuine that he wasn't doing anything. If he got caught, then he's the type of guy to get pissed, but at himself.
Yeah.
But he got pissed at umpires.
Dude, here's my thing. How long do you think he's been doing the same routine? For how many fucking years?
Okay, so this is also another thing, is that there have been 3 ejections so far for a sticky substance ban this season. And all 3 of those came from the same umpire. So this particular umpire has some sort of internal emotion or feeling toward
another Angel Hernandez,
possibly, or a Joe West,
Damn. That's crazy, bro.
I think they're trying to at least him. I think he's trying to like make an example so that way, for the future, the pitchers don't use as much rosin or whatever it is that they're using, as Scherzer did. And honestly, it's what strikes me as kind of weird is that Max Scherzer got a suspension for 10 games and he did not choose to appeal. So he said, just give me the 10 days, whatever.
Well, so I heard about this. He was gonna appeal, and then he got word from his from the clubhouse to basically tell him, just take it. Don't make it any worse than what it already is, pretty much. So he did it in the best interest of his team, and he just said, fuck it, I'll take the 10 games. That's what I was reading up on it, and that's what I saw.
See, and my kind of thought
was they lowered the fine. I think it was from 10 grand to 5 grand.
That's still ridiculous, dude.
It's still dumb because it's still 10 games.
What I don't understand is why is it up to just one umpire?
Yeah.
If it's only up to just one umpire to say whether it is or isn't, that's a very biased call, in my opinion.
Right. I agree.
I
I
think
agree.
that the umpires need to get together collectively and then, just take 30 seconds and just say, like, what do you guys think? And then ultimately, majority rules, that's
Luckily that didn't cost him the game because I think the Mets ended up winning
yeah, they won
anyways.
5-3.
But he was pitching pretty good up until that point, and it kind of sucks that he's one of the best pitchers in baseball, dude. Like, come on, man. Like, how long? It's like I was telling you, how long do you think he's been doing the same routine with the rosin and the sweat and all this, and
Yeah.
then all of a sudden it's like, oh shit, green light, like you got something on your hand that's way too sticky.
Scherzer's
You know what I
throwing
mean?
high 90s, and he's always had really good break on all his secondary pitches. So, in
Mhm.
my opinion, he doesn't even need any foreign substance or any kind of like enhancement that he'd be able to use, just because he's a gamer, dude. He
Yeah.
does this day in and day out. Let's see. Meet the Mets said Max is a union representative. He would have been brain dead to try using illegal substances, and that
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that, but dude,
Yeah, dude,
that is
it's like why would you jeopardize? You know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense. He's a veteran. Like he knows the
see
rules.
now
He knows the rule.
this is
Yeah, go
another
ahead.
thing that Meet the Mets just said, which is what I was trying to get close to. I was thinking like maybe he just said that he's going to miss the next 2 starts, take the 10-game suspension because they have a kind of like a weaker schedule coming up, and maybe Max Scherzer starts. We're
That
going to
makes
be
sense.
against weaker teams,
That
so
makes sense.
why not keep them fresh? Max Scherzer has been known the last couple seasons to be the type that towards the end of the season he's starting to break down a little bit. We saw him with the dead arm 2 seasons in a row. And maybe he just needs to start decreasing the total innings per season. He's the type
That's a
of
good
guy that
point,
has
man.
been pitching 200 innings per season.
Yep.
Maybe it needs to be dialed back to maybe like 170 or maybe even a little bit lower.
Yeah.
38 years old.
That's a great point, Meet the
Yeah.
Mets.
So
That's a
let's
great
see.
point.
If he takes suspension, it's during our soft schedule, which is basically what my thought was when I kind of heard that he was okay with the suspension.
Yeah. I didn't even think about it, honestly. I'm too
Tony
busy watching the
said,
Dodgers get their ass whooped.
don't remind me. Tony said they should have 4 MLB officials in both dugouts and bullpens. Let's see. To keep an eye on sign stealing and the sticky stuff shenanigans. 4 MLB officials in both dugouts? I don't know. That seems a little excessive. That's a waste of money when it could be going to other things. Let's see what Jasper says. If they wanted to, the catcher could touch up the ball so the pitcher doesn't have to. Pitchers are very particular about the balls that they use. Like a catcher doesn't really care.
Yeah, they got their routines, man.
Yeah, certain
Yep.
pitchers use a little bit more than others, and they have a different mix that they put. We were talking about the sunscreen and the what do you call it? The sweat that they mix in with the rosin. Meet the Mets says his spin rates weren't above his averages either. Yeah, he was pitching normal. He was pitching like an elite starting pitcher that Max Scherzer is. And yeah, I don't get it, man. So he misses the starts against the San Francisco Giants and the Washington Nationals. That's what Meet the Mets says. I thought that I saw that he had a start with the Braves coming up, but maybe I'm mistaken about that. Tony saying 4 total, 2 for each team. So 2 MLB officials inside the dugouts. So I don't really understand what you're trying to say, Tony. Like, what would the officials do?
Like
they would,
somebody to overlook what's going on in the dugout, I think.
but would they supersede the umpires, or do the umpires still have like the final call?
Yeah, that's.
Let's see. He says 1 in the dugout, 1 in the bullpen for each team. That's 4 total. Just to keep an eye on the sticky substance. I mean, I guess like when your manager's around, you're gonna work a little bit harder. You're not gonna do anything wrong, but when the cat's away, the mice will play. Right? That's the old saying.
Ooh, I like that.
So I like cats.
I like cats.
All right. So, yeah, I mean, we gave you our thoughts on the Max Scherzer thing. Thank you, Meet the Mets, and Tony and Jasper for joining in on that conversation. Now we are moving on to the news and notes. So there's actually a lot of news and notes that we could go over. So bear with me. First thing is Bryce Harper started throwing from 60 feet, should be back in early May. Phillies manager Rob Thompson says Harper could be back the first weekend in May. So they're already training him at first base. He's been taking a lot of reps at first base. So it looks like because of the Rhys Hoskins injury that put him out for the season, they are in need of a first baseman, especially because their backup just got hurt as well, and he's probably going to be out for 3 months.
Who was that?
I'm blanking on his name.
Rookie?
I don't know if he was a rookie or if he's just kind of unknown.
Dude, we
Derek
talked
Hall?
about this. Like,
Derek Hall? Is that his name?
Yeah. There, Hall.
Yeah, I think it was Derek Hall.
Somebody has said it on the comments.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Let's see what Jasper says. True, but
yeah,
you can't
Derek
say
Hall,
catchers
dude.
don't already know what to do for their guy. Hence, the personal catcher guys have. Now that there's some truth to that, but I feel like there's a lot of teams where they platoon catchers, and only the aces really have like their personal catcher. Like I know Kershaw prefers Barnes over Will Smith.
Nope.
And when Wainwright was pitching, if he didn't have Yachty, he was throwing a fit. So yeah, there's certain pitchers that kind of can command that or demand that, I should say. But not all of them, and a lot of times, like let's say the St. Louis Cardinals right now, mentioning, Yadier Molina, that he is retired now and they have Wilson Contreras. So these guys have to become, it's going to take a while for them to be simpatico.
Yeah.
It's not going to be like an overnight thing. It's not something that can just happen like in spring training. It takes, constant bullpen sessions and constant games over and over again where you're finally like starting to create that chemistry. The same thing with position players. When position players go over to other teams, Juan Soto is a big one that I'm just like, give him some time with the team and let him figure out the team chemistry that he has. I think that it's probably going to happen sooner than later. But we saw that he just wasn't very comfortable being in San Diego last season. He knows the hype around him.
I hope he stays that way. I
don't, man. And honestly,
I'm not being biased.
I get it that we want our opponents to suck.
Dude, Soto is he's a game changer, man.
Like
he's a game changer,
he
dude.
could be one of the faces of baseball. They try to make Tatis the face of baseball.
I like his game, dude.
Yeah, he's really good.
Game,
but
bro.
I think the thing that's screwing him up actually is the pitch clock. I think that's screwing him up this season.
Dude, that's screwing everybody up.
To a certain extent, but I feel like guys like Juan Soto that does his like little shuffle, side to side and stares down the pitcher, that takes an extra, 5-6 seconds. You can't waste those 5 or 6 seconds anymore. You need to get your ass back in the box, as we saw a couple times in the past couple days. I want to say it was actually yesterday that there were 2 clock violations in the same game. I think one of them was Profar. I saw that he took a third strike because he took too long getting in the box, and I don't remember who the other one was. But this is real, folks, so better get used to it. I feel like the older guys are the ones that are going to have the harder time to adjust to this because they've been in their routine. We talk about routine in baseball all the time, and that's basically what it is. Pitchers have their routine, position players have their routine. Everyone has their routine. We see Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper is going to have a hard time when he comes back because he hasn't been able to practice with this, new rule. Even in spring training, he doesn't have a spring training. And what's weird to me, Philly's manager said that he's not going to require a rehab assignment, that he's just going to come back. That's a little weird to me. But anyway, so moving on.
Yeah, I heard about that. That's crazy.
All right, so that was Bryce Harper. Giancarlo Stanton out 4 to 6 weeks with a grade 2 hamstring strain. So I do have a couple
Sucks.
replacements that are on the most added list that I'm just going to list these names, and you tell me which one that you would like out of all 5 of these, actually. So replacing
Gotcha.
Stanton, we have Josh McCormick of the Astros, Andrew McCutchen back with the Pirates, Jorge Soler with the Marlins, Brandon Marsh with the Phillies, and Josh Lowe with the Rays. All outfield eligible. Which one of those 5 would you have if you had to replace Stanton with for the next 4 to 6 weeks?
Dude, McCutchen. What the fuck, bro?
McCutchen is hot right now, dude. I don't know
Dude,
what
I mean,
it is.
dude, I don't know if it's just because he's back where he started, but this dude looks fucking incredible right now. Like, I might be blowing it up too much, right? But the guy's hit 4 home runs already.
Yeah.
And you think like at this stage of his baseball career, he's kind of winding down. You wouldn't expect something like this. I would have seen him more like he's coming in back to his original team, and mentoring these young guys, cuz the Pirates, dude, they got some pieces, man.
Yeah, they do.
They got some pieces, and if you got somebody in there like McCutchen to like coach these guys and mentor these guys, like, I mean, what, dude? They're 13-7. I mean, come on.
That's a pretty crazy record for a team that's been known as one of the worst teams in baseball for the
Yeah,
past
exactly. And
decade.
it's like they don't have a guy. Like, the only one that I can really think of is maybe Reynolds.
Mhm.
Like
And
but then as far as like pitching, like the
I think
only one that
they have 2 solid pitchers. One is
Contreras.
Roansy Contreras,
He's dope,
who
man. I
was
like him.
a top prospect,
I like
and
him.
in the majors, he's been kind of up and down. He's very inconsistent. But if that's the problem with these young players that are coming up on weak teams, is that these weak teams don't really know how to develop their players. We've said that
Right.
so many different times. They need to take a page out of the Rays book, out of the Dodgers
Yeah,
book. Out of the
hey,
Cardinals
dude,
book.
think about this. They had Jameson Tyone, and they had
Garrett Cole.
Garrett Cole, and fuck the other dude, Tampa Bay.
Oh,
Shit.
the dude that was adopted, right?
Yeah. Damn, what's his fucking name?
I don't remember his name. I wonder if I could look that up real quick. I remember he used to have high strikeouts, right? And
Yeah.
oh my
Oh my
god, what
God,
is his name?
I'm horrible here. He was one of my dudes, dude. It's freaking crazy.
Chris Archer.
No,
that's who I was
no,
thinking
bro.
about.
No. It's
Tyler Glasnow.
there you go, Glass
Yeah.
now. They had all 3 of those guys.
Yeah.
Holy shit, bro. And
It's
it's
kind of like back in the day with Detroit, where they had like Verlander, Scherzer, and who was the third one? David Price. I think it was David Price.
Yeah.
Like all 3 of those guys, and then they couldn't do anything with it.
Can you believe? Can you imagine if the Pirates would have kept all 3 of those fucking pitchers? What
they be
kind of
now?
rotate? Oh my God, bro!
But
Crazy.
they were all traded, right? So they got
I
pieces in
know.
return for them, and I believe Brian Anderson. Is it Brian Anderson? What's his name? It's not Brian Anderson. That's Milwaukee dude.
You're talking about
Brian something for Pirates. The dude that's like the top guy on
Reynolds.
Brian Reynolds. There you go.
Reynolds. Yeah,
Thank you. Yeah. That guy. So I believe he was part of like one of those trades, which is why the Pirates ended up getting him. And now he's asking for another trade again because he knows that the Pirates aren't going to do anything. And I believe he's a free agent next season anyway. He's in his age 28 season. So for him to come up around like the 22, 23 years old, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
All right. So that was
my streamer would be McCutchen, totally, because I think he's just feeling being back home. And I he's batting 290, dude. What the hell?
Yeah.
Like he's hitting the ball really good. You know, at
Yeah.
his age, like you wouldn't expect that. He might regress, obviously. You know, I can't see him keeping up this kind of pace. But I like the fact that he's back with his old team and like him being there as a mentor for the Pirates. Is pretty cool. But
Yeah,
like,
it's
I'll
great
write
for
him
him,
out right
dude.
now. Write him
He's
out, dude.
excited to be back also. You know,
Yeah,
you can
you can
see
see
it.
it.
You can
Yep,
see it with
yep,
his excitement, like when his team does good. When other
yep.
players on the team, you know, if someone gets a home run and he's just like he feels proud to be there again, you know?
It's awesome, dude. I like it.
Yeah,
I
he was
like
an
that shit.
MVP with
Yep.
the
Hell
Pirates
yeah.
back in the day,
Yep.
you know? He was on the
Yep.
cover of MLB The Show. There was so much
That's
hype
crazy.
about him. So,
Yeah,
it's
man.
it's it's really cool to see these players kinda go back to where they started off and finish their career there, and I really think that McCutchen is probably just gonna finish his career with the Pirates.
He should,
Um,
as he should.
it's something that I was kinda hoping that, uh, damn, there's a pitcher that was with, the Phillies when they won the World Series in 2008. And he kind of bounced around a bit also, but he's a free agent right now. And I was kind of hoping that he would end his career with the Phillies again and maybe get signed with them, but doesn't look like that's going to happen.
Cole Hamels,
Cole Hamels, thank you. Jeez, I'm blanking
dude.
on so many names right now.
Dope. I always liked Cole Hamels, and then like he went to the Rangers and he just took a shit. I'm like,
Yeah,
what
that's
happened, bro? Didn't the Dodgers sign him for like?
yeah. But
Oh my
I don't
god,
think he ever pitched for them
no,
because
he never did.
he got hurt and then he got traded again or something like
Yeah,
that. I don't know. But
he
yeah,
still
he's a free agent right
he still
now.
plays.
He says that he wants to pitch. I saw an interview with him that he said
Yeah.
that he wants to pitch, but he's not getting the
How old is
offers that
he?
he wants.
Yeah, he's up there.
Yeah, I want to say he's probably 36, 37. I
Yeah.
don't think he's as old as like Verlander and Scherzer. But
Mm,
anyway,
mm.
so you said McCutchen.
I say
I
McCutchen.
think I like McCutchen in a points league because of we know that he's capable of getting on base a lot and producing. In even
Oh, hey, he has 3 stolen bases.
yeah, that's a
Take
little bit
that.
okay. So this is the thing. Every time I watch McCutchen, I'm like, this is the one where he gets hurt. Watch. It's been like every season for the past like I want to say three or four seasons now. When he
Yeah.
went to the Yankees and then went to the Phillies and kind of bounced around a little bit, he just keeps on getting hurt. He doesn't know how to stay healthy. So I wonder if he's like trying extra hard right now to stay healthy because he knows that he's at the end of his career.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
maybe.
I like McCutchen for now.
Yeah.
Honestly, though, I think I like Brandon Marsh just a little bit
Marsh.
better.
I knew you were going there. I knew it. I
So
fucking knew it.
Brandon Marsh, he's in a way better lineup.
Yeah.
I think that that him moving from the Angels to the Phillies has actually helped him a bit. For one thing, because he's in a better hitting ballpark. You know, he's a
Yeah.
big dude. He's 6'4", 215 pounds. He hits the ball hard. On average, exit velocity is 90.5. He has a expected batting average of 241, which is a little bit low, but I'm okay with that because of how often he's barreling up the ball. He has a barrel percentage of 13.2. The league average is 6.8, so he's double what the league is in barrel percentage. So
Damn.
I really like what I'm seeing from Marsh, and he's in a better lineup, more chances for runs and RBIs. And when Harper comes back, that's even going to be better for him because that's just another guy that's going to get on base for Marsh to either knock in or Harper can knock him in.
Right.
So
I like
I
that.
do
I
like
kind of knew you. I kind of knew you were swaying that way.
I do like Marsh for points leagues, and as Tony says over here, Soler if you need power, McCutchen for average. So if you're in a categories league, I kind of like Soler, even though he's on a weak team. He's in the Marlins. He does have probably the highest upside for power. So doubles, home runs. Doubles don't really mean much in a categories league unless you play with slugging percentage or OPS. But he is probably the best source of home runs of power from the ones that we mentioned. Josh McCormick,
Shit, unless
McCutchen.
McCutchen can keep it up.
That's the thing, dude. I'm going to knock
You
on wood for
know?
him right now
Shit,
because I
man, like,
really think that McCutcheon's going to get hurt sooner than later. You know, he's
that's
older. He's
crazy.
running around in the outfield like a crazy man out there. So,
He wants to shout for the fans, dog.
but honestly, out of all these replacements that are eligible or that are available in more than 70% of leagues, Josh McCormick, Andrew McCutcheon, Jorge Soler, Brandon Marsh, and Josh Lowe, I think they're all fine
Yeah,
replacements. If
I
you
agree.
need an outfield replacement, I would definitely go Marsh number 1. Javi says McCutcheon number 1. If you're in a categories league, I'll say Soler just because of the counting stats that he could possibly get with the home runs. All right, moving on, we go to Joe Musgrove is slated to make his first start of the season tomorrow at Arizona. So if you have Musgrove, are you starting or are you sitting?
Oh, you're starting. What?
So in a points league, of course you're going to start. But
Yeah.
in a categories league where if he gets blown up, that's really going to mess up your ERA. And if you're winning ERA, you don't want your ERA to go from like a 3.2 all the way up to like a 4.2.
Yeah. I mean, I could see that because I mean we play in a points league, so for
No
me
matter
it'd be
what,
like, yeah,
you always want to try to start, you know.
yeah. I'm like, hell yeah, like do it, you know. But yeah, you make a valid point. I mean, Arizona, they might seem like a weaker team, but they got some pieces, bro.
Their lineup is nice. Their lineup is really
Yeah,
nice.
dude. Yeah. So I mean, I could kind of see what you're saying with Musgrove. What was the injury that he had?
I don't think it was anything crazy. I think it was like a leg thing. Look it up real quick. So I have Joe Musgrove in one of my leagues, and luckily, you know, I have an IL spot for him. I am trying to decide who I want to drop for to activate Joe Musgrove because I know that Joe Musgrove is definitely not the type of pitcher that I'm gonna drop, you know, anytime during this league unless he really gets hurt. But
You should.
yeah, I think I do have him in our league that we're in.
Yeah, I think you do.
So he had a fractured toe. He dropped a kettlebell on his foot. So yeah, it looks like it was his plant foot. So his left big toe. So I don't really think that that's really going to hinder him too much, you know, from mechanics or whatever. I've broken toes before, and I come back, you know, normal, average, like nothing really like any craziness going on there. So, yeah. So let's go ahead and move on.
Yeah. I mean, Musgrove is the ace, dude. Like, start him. It don't matter. Like points league, categories league. I think you just
even in a
start him
categories league, I still
Yeah.
think he's going to pitch well. He probably just won't go too deep into the game.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
I'm going to guess they're going to probably cap him out at 65 pitches.
I agree.
So even if he goes 3.5, 4 innings, I'm okay with that because that's in a points league. That's probably going to be close to like 15 points. And that's 15 points that I don't want to see on my bench, you know?
Damn right.
So next we have Luis Severino is not progressing as quick as the Yankees thought he would, but he should be back within the next 2 to 3 weeks with the big club. Tony Gonsolin had 7 strikeouts and 57 pitches in his latest rehab start in AAA. So that's
we need him.
The Dodgers definitely could use him right now. Jasper Springs out for the season with Tommy John surgery. This was a big hit. Jasper Springs coming into this season, he was very coveted. A lot of people wanted him in their drafts, and man, it really sucks. This earlier in the season.
Guy for Tampa Bay, right?
Yeah. And that's the thing about Tampa Bay is
bad for Tampa, good for you, huh? Mm-hmm.
Dude, Tampa they are so good at developing their pitchers, and seeing, you know, him come out, that there's a player that I want to talk about after we talk about the next guy. So Jasper Springs out for Tommy John surgery, and the Arizona Diamondbacks, not surprisingly, just DFA'd Madison Bumgarner. So that's 2 starting pitchers that were potentially in your lineups before that you're going to be without for
Dodgers. Pick that up.
No, thank you. He can go back to the Giants. He can go back to the Giants. I'm sure they would. They have no hopes for playoff this season probably. So why not put him back in a Giants uniform?
Dude, we need a lot of help.
All right. So there are 4 starting pitchers that I have that I could recommend if you need replacements for Jasper Springs or Madison Bumgarner. Any one of these 4, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Any one of these 4 is definitely better than Bumgarner, in my opinion.
I got 2. So you go with your 4, and then I'll tell you what I got.
All right. How about you tell me your 2, and then
because I know one of them you already know.
Well, the one that we were talking about, yeah. So, all right. How about you take him? Go ahead and talk about him first.
Well, no. So I'm gonna go back to Pittsburgh.
Oh,
I like Contreras, dude. I like Contreras.
Really?
Like, I think I've been eyeballing this dude since last season. They brought him up I think it was like after All-Star break or before.
Oh,
I'm
I
not
just
sure.
dropped him and you picked him up, right?
Yeah, I used him for a game, but then I think he's playing the Braves next, or the Dodgers. I'm not sure.
Didn't he do really good on
He
this
did.
last start?
He pitched. He I forgot what he went with, but like he got me like 24 points or some shit
Damn.
in a points league,
Nice.
which is pretty legit, But he was pitching against the Reds.
Yeah.
So
Okay. So I see here
matchup based.
he went 6.5 innings, allowed 5 hits, only 1 earned run, 2 walks with 8 strikeouts.
Yep. Yeah. See, this dude, he obviously, like just any other pitcher, he's gonna have his off days. I think he's really like matchup based, but I think if he gets his shit together, he's got like an arsenal, dude. He's got he's got a fastball, a slider, and a curve, and a changeup that he barely uses it. And I think the pitching, the pitching coaches are letting him know, like, you need to use your changeup more. And the dude, I think this guy is gonna be the Pirates' ace. This is their ace, I think. I don't think it's Keller. I think it's Ronzi. I really do. And like if he's available, I think you should pick him up. Because even against tough teams, I think he's pretty good, man. Like he has good shit. He has good pitches, man. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I have a feeling about this guy. He's gonna be big things for Pittsburgh.
So this season, he has thrown 156 sliders and 129 fastballs, 43 curveballs, and only 13 changeups. So on his changeup, he has 0 swing and misses. That could be one of the reasons why he doesn't want to throw his changeup too often, but the changeup isn't really for swings and misses anyway, unless you're the type of guy that has like 4 inches drop on your changeup and you throw it in the dirt. But the changeup is really good for allowing soft contact.
Only thing I don't like is he's walked 10 batters, but he hasn't allowed any home runs.
That's good.
So, he keeps it in the ballpark, which is pretty good, man. Like, I don't know, dude. He's just one of those young dudes that I look at and I'm like, there's something about this guy, man. Like, I don't know, man.
He does have one of the best sliders in the game. It's
dude. That's
43% whiff rate on his slider. So
it's nasty. I don't know if you ever seen highlights. It's nasty.
It has a lot of movement, a lot of lateral movement, which is really what you need. And not only that, but his fastball is 94 miles an hour. His slider is a whole 11 miles an hour slower. So the arm slot from the four seam and the slider look exactly the same, and you don't even realize it's a slider until it starts breaking. And by that time, you're already midway through your swing. So you're either going to check swing and you're going to get called a strike on it, or you're going to be swinging and missing on something outside the zone.
I like because I know he's had I think he had one bad game. I think it was the last game, not the one from yesterday, but the one before that. He adjusts really good. Like, whenever I've noticed last season, I think he was what was it? He had a 3.79 ERA in 21 games. He had 86 strikeouts, 39 walks, dude. And I think they figured him out and they put him in the bullpen and they brought him back out of the bullpen and he adjusted. So that's why I feel like this dude, like, he's gonna see his mistakes and he's gonna adjust. He's that type of pitcher. Not a lot of pitchers can do that. You know what I mean? So I feel like this fool, this fool, this guy, as a Cali talker, dude.
Yeah, I know.
He's gonna.
I get made fun of a lot around here.
They're like, what is that?
It just kind of comes out, Doug. And then
Yeah, I know,
that's
bro.
another one too, is Doug. Because
It's never going
I guess
away.
I don't say dog when I say what's up, dog. I say Doug. And the homies at work are just, I'll be like, what's up, Doug? You know, and then they'll be like, who's Doug? You know,
that's not me, dog.
Yeah, so that's funny, but it's like,
No,
you know,
but
that's just my LA talk.
You know, but Ronzi, I think he's gonna, if he can adjust, dude, and he gets shit right, he's gonna be a really good pitcher, man.
So this is what I'm seeing in the data right now, which is not the greatest for any pitcher. Is that the pitch that he's getting hit the hardest is his four-seam fastball, which he throws pretty hard. It's 94 miles an hour, mid 90s. I'm sure he hits 95, 96 sometimes. The problem with that is opponents are hitting 500 against him with an expected batting average of 330 against him on his fastball. They're slugging 656, expected slug at 504. So I think that he just needs to get that fastball command maybe a little bit better. I haven't watched him enough to really see, you know, to gauge what he's been doing with his fastball, but I think if he can find that fastball command, I think that he can just.
What's cool is that he's young, dude, and all he's gonna do is grow and learn and figure his shit out.
Well, see, this is one thing that I'm noticing also is that he has 156 pitches thrown on his slider and 129 on his fastball. Last season, he had 770 pitches thrown from his fastball and 543 on the slider. So this year it's reversed. He's relying a lot more on his slider than he was last season. It was reversed.
It's a more effective pitch.
Yeah, and the curveball to kind of go along with that, which he throws somewhat often as well, has last year had a 20% whiff rate on it, which is great. This year he's at a 33.3% whiff rate. It's small sample size. You know, he's only had like 3 or 4 starts. But
this season,
I really think if he can get that fastball command, then he can be the ace that, you know, you were talking about just a couple minutes ago.
All right, who's your guy?
I
already know.
All right, so my guy is the guy that Carlos and I were talking about last week. Super excited about this guy, and it actually is Jasper Springs' replacement, and that's Taj Bradley. Taj Bradley is freaking amazing, dude.
Smoking, dog.
He is probably going to stay up in the majors. I don't imagine that the Rays would ever think of even sending him down again. And next week, he is in line for 2 starts. So I don't want to talk too much about the 2-star pitchers right now, but I am going to mention that his first start is against Houston. And I love that because this is really going to be the test to see if Taj Bradley is, if he can be a legit Jeffrey Springs replacement. You know, I would trust Springs against the Astros. Bradley, I think I would trust him also. I want to trust him so much.
Bench him, bro. Bench him.
Bench him. All right. So four possible replacements for Bumgarner and Jeffrey Springs. Taj Bradley, Mason Miller, another guy we were talking about, which could potentially be the ace of the A's, you know, eventually, because they really have crap pitching. But Mason Miller is like that one like shining star that could actually be somewhat, you know, a good fantasy option from the A's.
Throws in the triple digits, bro.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But,
holy shit.
So the crazy thing about Mason Miller, which I wanted to go in later also because he's on a later segment that I wanted to do, is he only has 23 innings pitched in the minor leagues. and he is
That's
up in the
crazy.
majors already. That is insane, dude.
And I heard that they're keeping him there. I
Yeah.
heard that he's not going back down.
Who else do they have? They don't have anyone else to throw anyway, you know.
Nope.
But I would be very surprised if he pitches more than 100 to 120 innings. Because he's only thrown 23 innings in the minors, there's no way that he could take on a big workload. And I think for rookies, 120 innings is not out of the realm of possibilities. I think if he can get to 120 this season, the next season he could probably get to 150, and then from then on it's kind of just like a crapshoot because every pitcher's different. Some guys throw a lot of pitches in per inning, so you could have a guy throw 100 pitches in 5 innings, or you could have a guy throw 60 pitches in 5 innings. So it really depends on the pitcher. But there's not enough data for this guy to really to kind of assume what he's going to be. We just see his amazing fastball and his other arsenal that we'll go into later. The third guy that I want to recommend is Johan Oviedo.
Another Pittsburgh Pirate.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn, bro.
So that's a big one that should be on.
Dude, I hope the Pirates don't fumble the bag on these pitchers, man.
Because
they got something going on, man. And like even with Reynolds, like asking for a trade or whatever, they still got some good young pieces. They're just catcher coming up. I don't know if you've heard of him. I forgot his fucking name, but
Pirates.
They just look him up, bro. He's like the next big catcher coming up. Don't take him away.
Is it Indy Rodriguez?
Yeah. Who?
Indy Rodriguez?
Doesn't
Doesn't sound right.
No. Hold on.
Deion Stafford.
You might hold on. You might have hit it on the nose. Hold on.
So Indy Rodriguez does have some.
Yeah, Andy.
Okay.
Andy. Yeah, my bad. Yep. Andy.
I've seen him on some top prospect lists. So I feel like catchers are a little hard in fantasy baseball because catchers are never really known for their bat. They're usually just known for their pitch framing and their defense. And sometimes we get a diamond in the rough, which we've seen the best catcher in baseball, JT Realmuto, go in like the 3rd round. Sometimes people even reach and go for him in the 2nd round. And then you have other guys like Salvador Perez for the Royals, that he's probably the only catcher that really has like that 30+ homer potential. So it's very rare that you actually get a good hitting catcher. I don't know. It seems to be left to be seen with him. I don't really like to put a lot of stock into catchers because we've seen like the catcher for the Giants that was supposed to take over for
Joey Bart.
He didn't pan out. He
did not.
He was not good in the majors, and he was a top prospect and heard all these great things, and he's not even relevant anymore. So
you're right.
Yeah, that's my
even the dude from the A's, Langeliers. He's been pretty shitty this season. I think he's kind of picking it up right now.
Yeah, and he was a top prospect also.
Yeah, so
catchers are always hit and miss. I mean, I guess everyone's hit and miss, but because there's such a smaller crop of catchers coming up, then it's really hard to find that one, So the last pitcher that I want to recommend is Brandon Pfaadt. The last name is Pfaadt, who is probably going to be Madison Bumgarner's replacement. Now, in the beginning of the season, he was not on the 40-man roster for the Diamondbacks, but now that Bumgarner has been DFA'd, that opens up a spot on the 40-man roster, and Brandon Pfaadt could easily just slot in there. What do they have to lose?
There's no reason why they shouldn't.
There is no reason why they shouldn't. And Brandon Pfaadt is.
And dude, and think about it. They who is it? I picked up this dude, Jameson.
From Dre Jameson.
Yeah.
I love Dre Jameson. That's another one that we could recommend.
And I know he hasn't gone deep into the games. Like I think he's pitched like 4.5 innings, not even 5 yet. right? But I think it's because they're just kind of building up his workload. And then they have this other dude, Ryan Nelson,
Mm-hmm.
who's been pitching pretty legit, So like you bring up I don't even know how to say his last name. What, Fat? I don't want
Fought.
to say Fat. Fought.
Yeah. The T
like
is silent.
like he's one of those top prospects,
Yeah.
top pitching prospects. So
big dude, 6'4", 220 pounds.
dude,
So
crazy.
I think that he could be a legit fantasy option once he comes up. In the minors, let's see, in 2023, he had this season. Let's not even worry about this season. Last season, in 10 games started with the Reno Aces in AAA, he had a 2.63 ERA. Only had 61. Oh no, I'm sorry, because he split time in AA and AAA. So that was in AAA. Had 61 innings pitched, had 74 strikeouts. So more than a strikeout per inning. WHIP was a .99. So he allows less than one hit and walk per inning. Good strikeout potential, which is really good in Arizona because the ball seems to fly there.
Yeah.
So
Diamondbacks are looking nice, man.
yeah, the Diamondbacks. Honestly, the
Corbin
National
Carroll,
League West in
woo!
general looks more competitive this season than it has
Yep.
in previous seasons.
Yep.
Diamondbacks have a good lineup, and they're starting
They
to
do.
come out with their pitching with Zach Gallen and potentially Brandon Pfaadt.
Yep.
All right, so Taj Bradley, Mason Miller, Johan Oviedo, Brandon Pfaadt, and who was the other one that you said? Dre Jameson. So those are potential guys that you could pick up in your waiver wire or free agents if you need that extra starting pitcher, especially if you're one that lost Jeffrey Springs. Next, we have Liam Hendricks is in remission. We'll be back on his journey.
Good for him.
His journey back soon. Liam Hendricks last season was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, which is a form of cancer. It was really sad to hear about that, especially because what he meant to baseball in general and what he meant to the White Sox. So I'm glad to see him come back soon.
He's a big time pitcher, dude.
Yeah, for sure. He's a little bit on the older side, but dude, he's the only Australian in Major League Baseball. So that's
crazy. That's crazy.
Mitch Haniger is batting .429 with a home run in 2 games in AAA rehab assignment. Should return this weekend or early next week. And the last part of my notes is Mookie Betts was activated from the paternity list, and he pinched hit for Luke Williams, stayed in the game at shortstop. So are we going to be able to see Mookie Betts have shortstop eligibility before the season's over? They're already slating him to start at shortstop tomorrow, Saturday. So,
dude, it looks like he's like made for that position.
Yeah, he looked really good. I saw him turn that.
He looks good there.
Yeah, he looks.
I like that.
Looks
shit.
very comfortable. So he's never had a start at shortstop in the major leagues, but he did start at shortstop a handful of times in the minors. And coming up as a prospect, he was actually a starting second baseman. So he's already used to playing the infield. He actually didn't go to the outfield. He didn't start playing in the outfield until he was ready to come up in the big leagues because Dustin Pedroia was already the starting second baseman for the Red Sox. And when Mookie Betts came up, they weren't going to take out Dustin Pedroia to put in a rookie, So, of course, they want his bat in the lineup. So go ahead, put him in the outfield. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. We saw that.
You know how long it's been since I heard Dustin Pedroia's name? Oh my god. That's crazy, dude.
Yeah, I know. Makes us seem old, right?
Yeah, don't say that.
I mean, you're old. You're older than me. So
no, you're gonna go. You're gonna get there. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I know. I got what are we in? April. I got 2 more months. No, I got a month and a half until I turn 40.
Booyah,
oh my God.
homie.
All right. So that was a lot of time that we spent on injuries and replacements.
We didn't do the two-star pitchers.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and get into that now. So 2-star pitchers. I kind of already talked about Taj Bradley. First start against the Astros, which is at Tampa Bay, and second start is at the White Sox. So personally, I am definitely recommending Taj Bradley. He's only 63% owned. I think that he should be closer to 100. I think that this guy is the real deal. His expected ERA this season is 1.57. His K percentage is at 42.5, expected batting average of 164 with a .97 whip. Has only allowed 8 hits in 10 innings pitched. Only 2 of those were extra base hits. Only 2 hits above 100 miles an hour exit velocity. 3 of the hits allowed were under 50 feet. So he does induce a pretty good amount of soft contact, which is great in a Rays infield because the Rays have a plus defense. He has faced 2 of the weaker lineups, but I feel like we can kind of go on track record with 2022 numbers between AA and AAA. He had a 2.57 ERA and 133 innings. And since he pitched 133 innings last season, I don't really think that he'll have a cap this season. I think he'll be able to stay up in the majors and not have to worry about a limit.
I hope they just keep him. I hope they keep him in the rotation, man. I really do.
I think they will.
That's how you're gonna develop your guys.
Yeah.
and
the only thing that kind of scares
the
me
big
with
league
Taj
stuff,
Bradley is because the Rays have a reputation of not letting their pitchers go deep into games.
Deep. Yep.
But we've seen the Rays allow Jeffrey
McClanahan, homie.
McClanahan go 7-8 innings. So it really depends. I feel like they're going more on feel rather than just let's cut it off. I don't want them to go through the lineup 3 times.
Got it.
That's what we saw with Blake Snell a lot. And now seeing Blake Snell with the Padres, it kind of just becomes apparent that maybe he's just not as good as we all thought he was. I think the Rays made Blake Snell better than what the Padres kind of have done with him.
Right.
I don't think he's as good as a lot of people think he is. And honestly, I will never have Blake Snell on any one of my fantasy teams.
Hell nah.
He's no thank
you. So my 2-start pitcher for next week, kind of weird because I don't really like this guy, but he's got a pretty good matchup. Nathan Eovaldi. He's got at Cincinnati, and then he's got the Yankees at home. And one would say, like, damn, the Yankees, their lineup is pretty fucking deep. But guess what? He used to pitch for Boston. So he kind of knows the Yankees. I think he's only like 54% owned on Yahoo. And I think he's 2-2 with a 5.40 ERA, 24 Ks this season. But I like the fact that he knows the Yankees. So even though like the Yankees are stacked, the fact that he's pitched against the Yankees already gives him somewhat of an advantage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe he hasn't pitched against the same players, but I'm just banking on him knowing, like, okay, I used to pitch against this team. I know, what they're about. Cincinnati, he doesn't really have any track record against Cincinnati, but Cincinnati is Cincinnati. So, it's like we talked about Contreras. Like, he pitched against Cincinnati yesterday, and he fucking, he had a great game against them.
Yeah.
So
that is a weaker lineup, but was it in Cincinnati? Because that actually makes a big difference.
I think it was in Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh? He's on the Rangers.
No. I'm talking about because Roansy played against Cincinnati yesterday.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like the Reds, their lineup isn't scary, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like,
yeah, you're right.
And Eovaldi's a veteran. I'm pretty sure he could take care of the Reds, but the game that we're saying is like the Yankees. Yankees are supposed to be this big hitting.
That's tough.
Team.
Is that in Yankee Stadium or is that
no? That's in Texas.
That's in Texas, so that makes it better because the short porch in right field at Yankee Stadium. That's very widely known as a little league ballpark. So
yeah, exactly.
It's hard to start pitchers in Yankee Stadium unless they play for the Yankees and they're going against a weaker team. So what I do see about Nathan Eovaldi here, like you said, he had a 5.40 ERA currently. His expected ERA is 3.78. So he's actually been a benefactor of some bad luck. Expected batting average against is a 2.79, but in previous seasons, it's pretty close to what he's been at in his career. So I don't really see too much to worry about him. I feel like he's a decent fantasy option. He has a very good whiff rate on all of his pitches except for the slider. Looks like, well, last year he actually had a 27% whiff rate on his slider. So this season he's only thrown it 16 times, only against right-handed batters, and has a 0% whiff rate. But he has a 27.6% whiff rate on his four seam, a 41.2% whiff rate on his split finger, which he throws the second most out of all his pitches. He has a 23% whiff rate on his cutter and 27.8 whiff rate on his curveball. So I really like what I'm seeing right there. I think that he's just been having some bad luck lately, and maybe he's due if he's playing in Texas. I definitely agree with you. I like the starts in Texas. It's a little hard to trust any pitcher in Yankee Stadium. So. Did you say he's pitching at Yankee Stadium, or was that at Texas?
No. He's at home. He's at home when they play the Yankees.
Okay, good.
So I think that's going to give him a leg up on against the Yankees.
Yeah, too bad.
Yankees have been up and down this season, man. So
yeah,
I'm not
too bad
sold
Corey
on them
Seager's
yet.
out for a little while. Oh, that kind of hurts the run support a little bit. But Rangers still have a decent lineup. You know, there's still some stars there. Yep. So. Any other 2-star pitchers that you wanted to recommend?
Was it just him? No, I think that was it. I like Eovaldi. The other matchups kind of iffy for me. Eovaldi is the only one that really kind of stood out.
All right, so that's it for the 2-star pitchers for next week. How about the weekend streamers? So rapid fire, just like we did a couple weeks ago. I'm gonna give you the name of the pitcher and who they're facing, and you just told me yes or no. And if you want to add a little side note, you're more than welcome to do that. All right. So first we have Merrill Kelly of the Diamondbacks versus San Diego.
Where?
It is versus San Diego, so it's at Arizona.
I like Kelly.
Yeah, I like.
And I don't like the Padres' offense right now.
Yeah, Tatis went 0 for 5 yesterday. Oh, we didn't mention Tatis is back. Yay, Fernando Tatis is back. Yay, Padres.
Well, it's like we went 0 for 5 blows.
0 for 5, yeah, but he was smacking some home runs in the minors, so it's only a matter of time before Tatis becomes the best player in baseball, in my opinion. All right, Tyler Anderson versus Kansas City.
Yes.
Reed Detmers versus Kansas City.
Yes.
Jack Flaherty at Seattle.
No.
Andrew Heaney versus Oakland.
Yes. Anybody versus Oakland.
Yeah, basically. Kyle Freeland at the Phillies.
No.
Miles Michaelis at Seattle.
Ooh. No.
Grayson Rodriguez versus Detroit.
I like Grayson. Yes.
So going back to Miles Michaelis, you said no. I think I'm actually a yes, because I think Seattle is known as one of the best pitching ballparks, and because Michaelis, he induces a lot of soft contact, whether it's up in the air or on the ground. I think that St. Louis can really handle the type of pitcher that he is, especially pitching in Seattle.
He hasn't been the same pitcher.
No, he hasn't.
He's been weird this season. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't know. You still got to trust the process. And I don't know. Someone dropped him either in our league or a different league. I was thinking about.
It was ours.
But he has very low strikeouts, so I don't really like him unless I really like the matchup. So I'd probably eventually drop him too if there was another interesting thing that I see on waivers. All right, so Grayson Rodriguez versus Detroit.
I said yes.
Tyler McGill at San Francisco.
Yep.
Garrett Whitlock at Milwaukee.
Ooh. No.
I'm gonna go a yes on that because I really like what I see from Whitlock. Yeah. Kyle Gibson.
Brewers are sneaky, man.
Yeah,
they're always sneaky. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I like the Brewers lineup. Their pitching has kind of gone crappy because losing their two of their top starting pitchers. But
Yeah, it's
we'll see.
crazy.
You know, they almost made it in the playoffs last season. They were only a half game back by the end of the season. So we'll see. I would love to see Corbin Burns in the playoffs. I would love to see Brandon Woodruff in the playoffs
That'd be
to see
awesome.
what they can do, you know. So Kyle Gibson versus Detroit.
Who's that? Baltimore?
Baltimore.
Yeah.
So it's
I like Gibson.
at Baltimore. I like Gibson versus Detroit.
I like Gibson.
Wade Miley versus Boston.
He's been hot, man. Miley's been hot.
It's hard to trust him in Milwaukee because Milwaukee's a hitter's ballpark. So against a hot hitting Boston lineup, also a lot of those guys are hitting right now.
I'm gonna say yes.
All
you
right.
can say no.
I'm gonna say worst case scenario, yes. if I definitely need a streamer and that's all that's available. Dre Jameson versus San Diego, your boy.
Ooh, I'm gonna go yes.
David Peterson at San Francisco.
I don't like David Peterson.
Yeah,
No.
me either.
Nope.
Zach Greinke at the Angels.
No.
Matt Boyd at Baltimore.
No.
Wisniewski versus the Dodgers.
Fuck no.
Ryan Bello at Milwaukee.
No, he's been horrible.
And Clark Schmidt versus Toronto.
And he's been horrible too.
Yeah.
Nope. They were thinking he was the back end of that rotation. He's horrible.
Yeah,
oh my
he is
God.
pretty bad.
What the hell?
All right.
He's like RPSP, right?
I
believe he is in Yahoo. I know he's RPSP.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think actually I do kind of remember him being only relief pitcher eligible in the beginning, and then he eventually got the starting pitcher eligibility. So I think you're right. All right. So on the most added list, there are 4 starting pitchers and 5 batters that are going to that are on the most added list. So I'm just going to go through them real quick because we've already been on for an hour and 6 minutes. So pitchers, you just tell me yes or no. Okay. Matt Strahm.
Phillies.
Yes. All right. So he actually pitched yesterday versus Colorado and did really well. He's only 28% owned, but he has 10,066 ads in the last week. Taj Bradley, 6,874 ads.
Damn right.
Only 63% owned.
That's crazy.
All right. Roansy Contreras, 5,616 ads, only 25% owned.
Definitely.
And
matchup based though. I want to say matchup based. I think next game. I mean, I don't want to say matchup based because I mean these guys are gonna have to figure it out, right? Against the best teams in baseball, they're gonna have to figure it out. So I mean, I would say go for it.
The Pirates have a good record right now, and I think it's because thanks to their pitching. You know, their pitching's been solid. So I think once they're like we've been kind of talking about their pitching, if their pitching stays consistent and they can actually pitch well throughout the season, and you know everyone has bad games and good games, but if they can have more good than bad, you know that'd be a great season for Andrew McCutchen to you know be excited about and potentially retire going out with a bang. So the last one we have is also from Pittsburgh, Oviedo with 4,984 ads at 51% owned.
I like him.
All right, so
I like him. I like what he's doing.
Out of all these guys, I think I like Taj Bradley the best.
I agree.
I like Oviedo the second best. And Roansy and Strahm, I think they're more matchup based. So Oviedo and Bradley, I think, should be close to 100% owned. Bradley more than Oviedo, in my opinion. But both of them should definitely be owned in at least all 10 and 12 team leagues.
I agree.
All right. So for batters on the most added, we have Taylor Walls at 30%, Joey Gallo at 30%, Andrew McCutchen at 44%, Josh Lowe at 61%, and Brandon Marsh at 54%. So any insights on those?
I'll take McCutchen just because he's a veteran and he's back home, and I feel like he he's comfortable there.
Yeah.
And I think that's why he's playing the way he's playing. And the fact that he could just be like the guy to go to, like he's just like a side coach, like somebody that the younger guys can go to and you know pick up any kind of insight on the game or whatever. But McCutcheon, MVP, dude. He's been MVP.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is the kind of player that you want on your team.
Do you think maybe he had like a Samson effect where when he cut off his hair, he just wasn't as good?
Maybe. Yeah. Hey, sometimes that kind of shit, like,
Hey, baseball's
like
all
either
about
work.
superstitions, right?
Yes,
Like,
it either works in your favor or it doesn't.
yeah.
You know.
That's why a lot of baseball players don't wash their socks. They think that or we see guys like Justin Turner that starts to grow the beard at the beginning of the season, and he won't shave
Yep.
until after the season's over
Yep.
because
Yep.
it helps him be the better player, But
It's just all routine, man. It's crazy.
so
But
the last hitter that I kind of want to talk about is Edouard Julien, who he's a prospect.
Twins.
Yes, Twins. So he replaced Joey Gallo when Joey Gallo was out on his injury leave. But now that Joey Gallo's back, it looks like they sent him back down. So unfortunately, I was hyping this guy up last week. I really thought he was going to stay up at the big club. He already has 2 home runs, and he only played like 8 or 9 games. So to have 2 home runs in that short amount of time, I feel like it could potentially be trade bait for other teams, that got to see a potential stud. I really like Edouard Julien in points leagues eventually when he does make it up and he plays every day. Amazing plate discipline from both hands, from left-handed pitchers and right-handed pitchers. He definitely hits, I believe it's righties more than he hits lefties, which is great because there's more right-handed pitchers in baseball than there are lefties. And he's not really like bad against lefties. He's just so elite against hitting righties. So,
dude, what is it about the fucking Twins that they always have these good ass fucking hitters?
Yeah, good hitters that get hurt all the time.
Yeah, they're fucking Glassman. Crazy.
Yeah, they should all be what's that called? Glass Joe. They should all be considered Glass Joe, like from
fucking Punch Out.
Punch Out, yeah. All right, so I think we reached the end of the show. We are at 1 hour and 12 minutes, which is a little bit longer than we wanted to go, but we gave you a lot of information, talked about a lot of replacements. Plus we did start a little bit later, so I think we're good.
Oh, that's my fault then.
Jasper, Tony, Meet the Mets, and I think that was it in the comments. Thank you guys for commenting and asking your questions and putting your thoughts through. If you guys have any questions, we're available on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. You can either search Real Talk Baseball, or if you want to go to our Twitter, it's the letter R, Talk Baseball, because our name is too long. We also have an email, realtalkbaseball@yahoo.com. So if you have any questions, you can always drop us a line there. Thank you for joining our show. And I am Will Pout. What's up?
Yo, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, man.
Oh, yes. Please hit that like button and that subscribe button. The more likes and more subscribers that we get to, the closer I am to quitting my job and doing this full time.
Bro, we're on the same boat.
Yeah. Let's do this, man. I'm excited. I love baseball. I want to do this as a career potentially. I've been given many compliments, about the show, and I hope that we really grow soon. So please like, subscribe, share, do all that. And we appreciate you. So I am Will Power, and this was Javi the Commish, is always with me. And we are signing out. Thank you guys.
Deuces.